All right, so the Western Swing is now completed. We have gone through all three of the Western tracks, starting back at Denver, moving on to Seattle, and now we have finished the Denso NHRA Sonoma Nationals. We are now inching in closer. I believe we're now 3 races away from the cutoff of the regular season as we look forward to the countdown of the championship and the countdown to the U.S. Nationals. We've had an incredible day, once again, of racing and a very eventful weekend. Let's jump straight into it. Pro Stock Motorcycle, Gaige Herrera. Again, what else can you really say about this guy? He is absolutely dominated. He had 2 bad races. Other than that, he has just stormed through the field, completing the Western Swing for Pro Stock Motorcycle. I believe this is the first time it's ever happened in that class, the first time the Western Swing has been completed since 2009 when Antron Brown won it there. He went through Ryan Ayler in round number 1. Ryan Ayler had a very eventful round number 1 as he gets off the line, jumps straight over and crossed the center line, disqualifying him from the event. He would go on to face Mark Ingerson, where Mark would have red light, which was the theme of round number 2. Out of all 4 runs that happened in round number 2, only one of them did not have a red light, and Mark was one of them. Gaige would then move on into the semifinals to face off against Karen Stouffer. Karen had a better light, but again, the power that Vance and Hines Gen 3 Hayabusa Suzuki body, again, just absolutely outran it. 6.783 to Karen's 6.926 would give Gaige Herrera a gift to the final round, where he faced off against Matt Smith. Matt Smith, round number 1, faced off against Lance Bottom, beat him over into get against Steve Johnson in round number 2. That was the one run where you didn't see a red light, but Steve ended up having to lift off, coasted to the line, and rise himself off the bike as he gave up the run to Matt Smith, letting Matt move on to the semifinals to face Gaige's teammate. Another semifinal for the Vance and Hines team as Matt Smith took off against Eddie Krawiec, beat him, moving on to the final round, and then an eventful moment for Matt Smith on his Matt Smith racing bike. Again, still getting used to running the Suzuki body. He's had a lot more success on the Buell bike that his wife Angie is currently riding, but again, as much as he's getting closer, something always seems to find him that bites him in the rear. The bike would not start off the line. He did not have an opportunity to run against Gaige Herrera. Gaige Herrera gets a solo run in the finals that gifts him the Western Swing and the Sonoma National win, and a weekend where he also clinched his ticket into the countdown of the championship, the first driver or competitor out of all 4 pro categories to do so this weekend. And like Andrew Hines said, he has completely swept the Western Swing. Not only did he win the 3 events, he won the 2 Fast 2 States challenges for both Seattle and Sonoma. He didn't get to win Denver because of the fact that he did not make the semifinals at Norwalk, so he didn't have an opportunity to do that. But he not only did he get both of the Mission Food Challenges and the Wallies, but he also won this weekend's All-Star Call-Out for the Pro Stock Motorcycles. The first time they've done that, he wins that as well. So he took home all the hardware and a broom to go with it. Moving into Funny Car, Bob Tasca, round number 1, had a bye run and move into the second round. He faced off against J.R. Todd. And Bob Tasca, as much as I give him credit, as much as I think that he's the guy that can really go out there and compete with the front runners, smokes the tires, giving J.R. Todd a run to the semifinals to face off against Matt Hagan. J.R. Todd would take down Matt Hagan, moving to the semifinals to face against Chad Green. And again, like everybody says, Chad, the real big surprise of the season so far. Nobody really looked at him as the guy that was going to do it. Started off in the season as being this fairy tale story of, oh hey, check out this guy who's having an incredible start to his season, and now he's becoming a real front runner and a guaranteed semifinalist week in and week out, making his first semifinal appearance. He went up against Cruz Pedregon round number 1, beats him, moves up against Paul Lee, who got an upset win over Alexis DeJoria after Alexis red lit. Chad would beat Paul, moving into the semifinals against the reigning champion Ron Capps. Chad Green would defeat him to move into the semifinals, which was honestly probably the best race of the final rounds, as Chad Green versus J.R. Todd ends with J.R. Todd claiming his first Wally in the NHRA Funny Car since the 2021 Gator Nationals, claiming it at the Sonoma Nationals. The 3.972 takes down Chad's 4.039, giving J.R. Todd the win and bringing the win back to the Kalitta camp, their first win of the season, which was a much long-awaited victory. Now into Top Fuel. Justin Ashley, again, much like what we've been talking about Gaige Herrera, what else can you say about what Justin Ashley has done this season? I believe this is his 6th win on the season so far. It looked like he was starting to have a bit of a slump. He always made it to at least the final round and lost there, but we saw back last week at Seattle, round 1, or I believe round 2, he went out there. So a big comeback for him to go right back to the top of the championship standings where everybody expected him to be. Round number 1 faces off against Doug Kalitta, the guy who went to the final round last weekend. A 3.707 beats Doug's 3.750 to face him off against Austin Prock in round number 2, had a buyer on the number 1 qualifier. Austin Prock falls down. He has a bad reaction time, ends up outrunning Justin Ashley, but a 3.761 with a poor reaction time gives Justin, my correction, I need to fix that. Justin Ashley had the 7.61. Austin Prock ran a 3.740, but because of the bad reaction time, give the win to Justin Ashley. Justin Ashley moves on to the semifinals. He faces off against Josh Hart, defeats him at 3.768, beats Josh Hart's 7.93. They face him off in the final round against Antron Brown, who had a very eventful weekend this Saturday, as in the final round of qualifying had a strut on the back wing of his car brake, which saw his rear wing break and almost fold sideways, which would have been a huge disaster for him. Got very lucky with the fact that the wing held on for the entire shutdown area and for the parachutes to come out, because that could have been a disaster for the Matco Tools team. But again, he makes it down the track, moves on to Sunday, runs through the field. Round number 1 takes out Mike Salinas. Round number 2 takes out Brittany Forrest, meets Steve Torrence, last week's winner, back at Seattle, defeats him, moves on to the final round, but much like we saw back at Bristol, is not enough to overcome the odds of Justin Ashley, who has been putting on an absolute clinic in the top field category. He claims another Wally as he tries to make his bid for a championship hunt and have the best opportunity to win it as they get closer to Indy. So again, an incredible weekend so far. Like we always do, have the highlight videos. Let's get into that and then wrap up as we look forward to the final Heartland Nationals.
Matt Smith will try to break that rhythm just like a good boxer would.
It's a foreign conversation that we're having about Matt Smith and speaking about him in these underdog tones. This is not, we've not talked about this guy this way in about 15 years.
But, you know, there have been a few times that we counted Matt Smith out, and it sounds like his bike may not be starting.
Nah, they're looking across the racetrack, the motorcycle turning. Oh boy, Smith dips his head. If they have not completely capitulated at this moment, he's getting off the motorcycle. Gaige Herrera begins to shake his head almost in disbelief. It does appear they're going to make one last-ditch effort to start this bike. There is no worse sound in this universe to Matt Smith than that little hum of an electric starter.
Yeah, they're looking for ignition. That's what we're listening to. If this engine, we can turn it over all you want. If there's no spark, this motor or this bike will not fire.
It will not fire. Gaige Herrera completes his burnout. It is done. It is over as soon as he breaks the beam on the starting line. This feat, which we talked about, the first opportunity for it to happen in NHRA history. They never run the 3 races of the Western Swing, is now a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see Gaige Herrera. He shook his head. He's actually disappointed. He wanted this matchup. He wanted to go toe-to-toe. You know, Gaige Herrera is a rookie. He was racing at a very select few races last year, but he's been watching Matt Smith over the years. And, you know, if this is just, it was the right opportunity for the number 1 and number 2 qualifiers to go toe-to-toe, and I think that Gaige wanted it almost as much as Matt Smith.
And there goes Gaige Herrera. Vinny, Vidi, Beachy. He came, he saw, he conquered. 677.5 at 198.
Gaige, there's a lot that you're about to acquire right here. First, that is that broom for the sweep, the Wally, your 6th of the season. You get that medal. There's going to be a winner's hat. And, oh, one more thing. There is a chalice that you're going to be drinking wine out of here shortly. And, Gaige, we talked to Andrew just prior to your run just about what we've seen about you this season. Well, you've done something that even Andrew Hines hasn't done, and that is sweep the swing. When you think of these accomplishments, how has Andrew's belief in you fostered your growth?
I mean, I still can't put into words, you know, I'm still a kid at all when, you know, from the day he called me to join the Van Science team, you know, and to be able to do this and sweep the swing for the first time and for the whole Van Science Mission Suzuki team and for Andrew and, you know, all the hard work he puts in and all the guys at the shop. I mean, it's incredible, and I hate that we got it that way. You know, I really wanted to race Matt, and he had a little issue on the starting line, and I waited as long as I could, but at the end of the day, we got the win, and I'm so excited. I'm out of words. Time to celebrate.
They snap off the starting line. Green's hanging right next to him, and at the stripe, it's J.R. Todd, 397 with a 2 at 322 miles an hour. J.R. Todd has finally broken through his first victory since 2021. They came so close to the final when they made that final in Gainesville. They thought they were going to do it earlier this year.
Oh, and he's been hollering almost the whole time. And JR, it's been 868 days since one of those has been in your hand. You told us earlier that winning was going to start snowballing for you. What's next for this team?
Just keep doing what we're doing, Amanda, going down the track like this. Can't thank Todd Smith, Jono, the Yellow Fellas, everybody involved. Connie, we finally got one of these. He's going back to Jupiter with me. Oh, man, Chad Head, Toyota, Reg is here. He's our good luck charm. Can't thank everybody enough to do this here in wine country. All Toyota winner circle here. It's great. Hopefully we keep doing this. Woo!
Nobody's messing around here. They're in pre-stage. Top Fuel final, Sonoma. Another big wheel stand for Ashley. Brown was out first, and at the stripe, it's Justin Ashley. 377.8. Tony, it's just 2,000ths of a second. 2,000ths.
As he looks over at time slip, we just took an impressive look at that slow-mo of that wheel stand. How extraordinary is this season for you, Justin?
Well, it's been amazing, and I think that's the beautiful part about NHRA drag racing is a lot of people see what happens on the racetrack, and I'm the driver who gets to have fun, but what about the team who puts it together? And Mike Green and Tommy Delago, this car was on rails all weekend long. And how about our teammate Antron Brown? This is a Team Toyota double up, and we had a Team Toyota final right there, and they ran great all weekend long. Just so great for Phillips Connect, Toyota, Kato, Mac Tools, Impact, all our awesome sponsors. Thank you, guys.
Again, thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, an incredibly eventful weekend, an incredible way to end off the Sonoma Nationals in the Western Swing. If you guys aren't following me along, again, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok even. I barely post on there, even Threads at this point. Mighty Mac 03. Follow me on there. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Be sure to like the videos, comment on it, and share it so that way everybody else knows what's going on in the drag racing world. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time for the NHRA Menards Nationals at Topeka, Kansas, the final NHRA National event taking place at Heartland Motorsports Park. I'll talk about that more as we get closer to the weekend, but I'm going to talk to you at a different location. I'll let that be a surprise for then, but you'll still get the same coverage as you always do. And again, moving forward as we get ready for the big go, the U.S. Nationals. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. Until then, this has been Mighty Mac, and I'll see you next time.